You can proceed, Mr. Atkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is going to publish 7 November Charlie. So, Mr. Howes, when we broke for lunch, I believe we were discussing, I'll go just a little bit back. So, to reorient the jury, this demonstrative before us is Hartsfield's Instagram and the Instagram associated with Bernard Mitchell in blue. Is that correct?
Yes, this is a summary of the conversation of Ms. Hartsfield and Bernard Mitchell, yeah.
And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And so, timeline-wise, again, can you help orient, and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger, this top video call event from Hartsfield's Instagram. What time is that in Eastern Standard Time?
So it would be 4:05 and 44 seconds Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. And then is there one roughly a little bit under a minute later at 4:06:21?
Yes.
Okay. Now, these next three on the right, the light blue, can you walk through how many video calls Bernard Mitchell Instagram has back to Ms. Hartsfield's Instagram?
Will you go back? I think I'm a little confused. Can we just start? Can you go back?
Yes. I will go back.
To 9 o'clock UTC.
Yes. So do you see this message by the crystal at 9 o'clock 05 UTC?
Yes. And that was sent from Bernard Mitchell to Ms. Hartsfield.
And then can you walk the jury through when you were reviewing this next sequence of events between Hartsfield's and Mitchell's Instagram?
Mr. Mitchell at 9 o'clock UTC, which would be 4 a.m., sent a message that said, "Send Daddy." 3 minutes later, Ms. Hartfield responded, "Okay, I'm getting it," and then followed up the message with 85 Mount Zion. And that was at 9:05, so 4:05 a.m. Then at 4:05 a.m. and 44 seconds and 4:06 a.m. and 21 seconds, 2 video call events were initiated by Ms. Hartsfield towards Mr. Mitchell. Then again, the way Instagram stores the records, I don't know if they actually communicated or if it was a missed call or what, but as the records are stored in 2019, it doesn't indicate whether a conversation was had. And then at 9:08:49 UTC, so at 4:08 a.m. 49 seconds and 4:09 a.m. and 18 seconds, there was 2 video calls initiated from Mr. Mitchell to Ms. Hartsfield. And then at 9:09:31 UTC, which is 4:09 a.m. and 31 seconds, Mr. Mitchell sent a message to Ms. Hartsfield stating, "Where you at, bruh? We at the gate." Then,
Mr. Howes, so going back just a little bit, at 4 o'clock, Mr. Mitchell asked, "Send your Addy," and then after the 85 Mount Zion by Hartsfield's Instagram, how many minutes later after this 4:05 a.m. message in Eastern Time from Ms. Hartsfield's account of 85 Mount Zion is the message you just stated of WYA, bro, we're at the gate?
approximately 4 minutes.
Okay. What happens after the Instagram account with Mr. Mitchell states he at the gate?
So at 9:09:54 UTC, which is 4:09, and then at 4:10 a.m. Eastern Time, respectively, there was video events, call events initiated by Mr. Mitchell to Ms. Hartsfield. And then at 4:10 a.m. and 21 seconds, Mr. Mitchell sent a message to Ms. Hartsfield that said, "We finna dip."
After that message of at 4:10:21, what does Ms. Hartsfield's Instagram in relation to Mr. Mitchell's do next?
So then at 4:10:49 and 4:11:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's video call events initiated by Ms. Hartsfield to Mr. Mitchell. And then at 4:13:51 a.m. and 4:14:19 a.m., there's 2 video calls initiated from Mr. Mitchell towards Ms. Hartsfield.
And after that 4:13 Eastern Time video call event, is there another sequence of video events between the two of them?
Yeah. So at 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 video calls initiated by Ms. Hartsfield to Mr. Mitchell in between those. And those started at, so let's see, it was 5:10 a.m. and 20 seconds, 5:10 a.m. and 37 seconds, 5:18 a.m. and 49 seconds, and then at 5:19 a.m. and 17 seconds. There's a video call sequence initiated by Ms. Hartsfield to Mr. Mitchell.
And Mr. Howes, do you still have that pointer nearby you?
I do.
Can you orient the jury to the 9:14 a.m., or excuse me, the 9:14 UTC call on this exhibit?
So this is where you would see that at 9:14:19 UTC, which is 5:14 a.m., Mr. Mitchell initiated a video call to Ms. Hartsfield.
And Mr. Howes, in UTC for February of 2019, is it 5 hours or 4 hours?
It's 5 hours. So it would have been 4:14.
And after that 4:14 video call, how much time elapses between the next interaction between Hartsfield's Instagram and Mitchell's?
There is almost an hour in between those at 10:10 and 20 seconds UTC, which is 5:10 a.m. and 20 seconds Eastern Standard Time. You can see that Ms. Hartsfield initiates a video call to Mr. Mitchell.
And Mr. Howes, is what we had published as 1 November, the CAD report for this incident, did that CAD report, was that generated in this gap of time?
Yes, it was.
And after that 5:10 Eastern Time, depicted in the far left of this screen, Hartsfield video call event to Mitchell, what is next?
Are you the 5:10
Yep, the very top
so
pink
there's
what's going on video chat after that.
there are 4 video calls initiated by Ms. Hartsfield. It would be, I'll stick to Eastern Time, so 5:10 and 20 seconds Eastern Standard Time, 5:10 and 37 seconds Eastern Standard Time, 5:18 and 49 seconds Eastern Standard Time, and 5:19 and 17 seconds Eastern Standard Time are all of the video call events initiated by Ms. Hartsfield to Mr. Mitchell.
Is that 4 video call events from Ms. Hartsfield's Instagram to Mr. Mitchell's in a span of about 10 minutes?
Yes, it is. And again, I don't know if they spoke. I don't know if it was completed. I just know that it was initiated from her account to him.
And scrolling down, can you orient the jury to the time of these video call events depicted on page 5 of 7 November Charlie.
Yes. So, again, there are 4 video call events initiated by Mr. Mitchell to Ms. Hartsfield, and those times are 5:22 a.m. and 36 seconds, 5:23 a.m. and 12 seconds, 5:23 a.m. and 35 seconds, and 5:26 a.m. and 2 seconds.
And those are Mr. Mitchell's video call events to the Instagram of Ms. Hartsfield.
Yes.
And then what is the last, or what does this next message state?
Ms. Hartsfield sends a message to Mr. Mitchell at 5:26 a.m. and 5:26 and 45 seconds a.m. and she sends the message to Mr. Mitchell that says, "On my auntie, we ain't set you up."
And what's the, after that 5:26 a.m., when's the next interaction time-wise between Mitchell's associated Instagram and Hartsfield's?
So at 14:09 and 08 and 14:09:20, which would be, I think, about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's 2 video calls here and here initiated from Ms. Hartsfield to Mr. Mitchell. And then at 14:09:27 UTC, Miss Hartsfield sends a text, "Bro, y'all good."
And Mr. Hiles, would that 1400, would that be 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time?
So
I mean UTC time?
yes, it would be. So it would be 2 p.m. UTC -5, so about 9 a.m.
And then what is the last message, the time and message from Hartsfield's Instagram to Mitchell's?
Miss Hartsfield sends the message that says, "Text, bruh, y'all good," phrased as a question.
Now, when you were looking through these records, Mr. Hiles, did you ever locate any shared direct stories between the parties' Instagrams that we've just walked through?
Yes, I did. So just from reviewing so many different Instagram messages, there's different modes of direct communication through the Instagram app. And Instagram, when you message somebody directly through their stories, it stores those communications in a different spot inside of the index and or PD, and as well as the PDF. And so I then looked at Mr. Mitchell's Instagram records under his direct stories tab in that index to see if there was any other communications between the parties that we had been, or that I had been investigating.
And did you ever see a direct story between Hartsfield's Instagram, Blaylock, and Ryan's?
Yes, I did. There was a message sent via direct story from Tahiria Hartsfield to both Rodelius Ryan and Damone Blaylock.
Your Honor, I'm going to publish what's been marked, or not marked, admitted as one brief moment, Your Honor. As 3 November Alpha. Now, as I'm, and it's page 384 of that exhibit. Mr. Howes, when you look at, so is the author and recipients in this direct stories when they're captured on Instagram, do they come first and then the photo or message beneath them?
So yes, so what you're going to see is that this particular message would have been sent at the author, which is, the author here is 96474220004. What that indicates is that that author correlates to Tahiria Hartsfield. That is the same number associated, the target number associated with her account. So that's how I knew that she was the sender. And then the recipients, if the Rudy and Big Boo and then the Cleveland Avenue, those respectively would have been Damone Blaylock and Rodelius Ryan. And when I talked about earlier, how you had the vanity name and then the actual account name that shows up under the picture, in the direct stories, the way Instagram saves it, it will be the account name associated with it.
Now, scrolling to 386.
So the way it's stored is you'll have the sender information, and then you will have the actual image that was sent via the direct story.
And what was the message that the Instagram associated with Hartsfield sent to the Instagrams associated with Blaylock and Ryan?
The message says, I just left the investigation room. They grabbed me and locked me up, and they grabbed Mariah. On Richie, she's snitching inward. They know about you, but not Lil Rod. I told his ass I don't know what the fuck happened. On Richie, I stayed solid. You can, with the C replaced with a K, ask my mama. I told the deactivate, I believe detective, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't even know how my name came up. Again, the C is replaced with a K. I don't know how my name came up, but he said people telling him I set Mari up, and Mariah told them my name and told them to grab me. That message was sent from Tahiria Hartsfield to Damone Blaylock and Rodelius Ryan, I believe the day of the homicide.
And scrolling back to 384, what was the time of this post in Eastern Standard Time?
This post was sent on 2/24, 2019 UTC 2:37. So it would have been 5 hours before that. So approximately 10:37 p.m. on November 23rd, 2019.
So if it was 0 to...
Or 9:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 23rd, 2019 is when it was sent.
And one brief
And so,
second, Mr. Hiles, when you, after that message... Oh, and let me ask you something. In direct stories, is it in descending or ascending order?
I believe I mentioned it earlier, but I'll state it again. So the messaging, the way messages are stored in the return of the records, they're in ascending order. So you get the top of the list is the original message that was sent. The way that the records were returned in 2019, for direct stories, they're stored in descending order. So the first message saved in the direct stories on these Instagram returns is going to be the last message sent or received.
So, Mr. Howes, with that said, this is the message we just discussed on the screen. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then scrolling up, do we see, is that the time and names that you just described?
So yeah, so above it would have, this is the same message that we sent. And then if you scroll up, this would have been, this next message is the reply.
What does it state?
The reply says, I knew that hoe was a rat and what she say about me.
And who, scrolling up again, would that help you understand who sent that?
Yeah. It is Rudy Big Boo. That was the name. So if you go to the way I cross-referenced this to confirm, I opened up the records of Damone Blaylock that our office obtained. So if you could,
I'm going to open those right now.
And Jairus, while we've got little pauses while they're adding new evidence up for y'all to see, if y'all need to move or stretch or anything like that, remember to feel free to.
So, publishing for you and the jury, State's Exhibit 3 November, and
right. So I looked at that target and account number that's associated with Damone Blaylock's records, and that was 383-818-7897. And then I scrolled down to the username, and it says the name, which would appear below the photograph on your profile, and it's Rudy Big Boo. And then I went directly back to the message that I saw. So if you can see that now, is this, did you toggle back to the message?
correct. I toggled back to the post we were just describing.
So if you could see that the post saying, I knew that hoe was a rat, was sent by the author, Rudy Big Boo. This is the name, and then the account number associated with it right here. So
Is it end in 7897?
yes, it does.
And going back to 3 November for Blaylock's Instagram returns, what is the last four? Is it 7897?
Yes, it is. So the account number and then the name was still the same. So that's how I was able to confirm the accounts that were sending and receiving those particular messages.
And Mr. Howes, I'm publishing what has been marked as 2 November Alpha. What is the target, the last four of this target number?
The last four of that target number is 1951.
And if I scroll down, what is the first name displayed? It takes us a slight lag.
The first name displayed is Bleveland Ave.
And what's the vanity name for this account?
So you can see that we scroll up a little bit.
Yes.
So there's two things that are of note here. You can see that the vanity name associated with this is, scroll down, Slime Business Rod. And then if you scroll back up, you can see that, wait, please scroll down a little.
Yep.
You can see that there's two email addresses registered to this account. It is menace with the C replaced with an X, .snake@gmail.com, and email slimebusinessrod23@gmail.com.
And for the last four of this target are 1951, is that correct?
Yes.
And if you go back to the message that was sent to both from the Instagram associated with Hartsfield to the Instagram associated with Blaylock and Ryan, is this 1951 with the username Cleveland Ave?
Yeah, so if you got to scroll, you got to size down just a little bit, and you will see that they are the recipients of that message of Miss Hartsfield describing being snatched up by the detectives, and that they don't know about Lil Rod.
And so using these identifying numbers for the Instagram, is that how you're able to associate who's receiving or sending, whose Instagram account associated with is sending or receiving messages?
Exactly, and I did the same thing. So I did the same thing with where it says author. Right there, there was no username associated. It was deleted on that account's front. So this is only showing in the records of Damone Blaylock at this time.
Is this end in 2004?
That number ending in 2004, again, just to cross-reference and make sure that I was looking at what I thought I was looking at, I then opened Tahiria Hartfield's account and confirmed that that was her, in fact, her target number, her account number, so I can make sure that it was her that was sending those messages, or her account.
Publishing 5 November Alpha. And the last of that was that 2004, Mr. Hiles?
Yes.
And publishing, is this that same target and account number?
Yes, it is, and that was the Instagram returns for associated with Miss Hartsfield.
And is that the what's going on that we saw on the different formatted exhibits we walked through with the jury?
Yes, it is.
Now, I wanted to approach you with 2 November Alpha 1 and 3 November Bravo. And, Your Honor, these exhibits, for the record, are items parties in the court have discussed that are from the, and does the court have a copy of the exhibit list?
Yeah, I think so.
These are what the parties in the court have discussed from 2 November Alpha and 3 November. I gave them their own exhibit number for the record.
Okay, so they're a part of the larger exhibit.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm going to start with, well, so, Your Honor, these items are admitted, but for purposes of efficiency, will be, the business record certs for these records have been entered. And so I wanted to tender these items for the records purposes to publish them. And I'm happy to approach if need to, but.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So it's 2 November Alpha 1 and 3 NN Alpha.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right? Okay. I thought I already had admitted 3 NN Alpha.
Or, excuse me, Your Honor, it is 3 NN Bravo is the second one.
Okay. Thought I had already admitted that one as well, but anyway. They're admitted if they weren't already separately admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I'm going to start, and Mr. Hiles, is that
So yeah.
excerpts from, or what are those?
So
in
I
general?
recognize 3 November Bravo is specific pictures and other conversations that were taken from Mr. Blaylock's Instagram records. And then I recognize as 2 November Alpha 1. Those are different pictures, Instagram stories, and messages that came from Rodelius Ryan's Instagram returns.
I'm going to start with the excerpts from Rodelius Ryan's Instagram returns and publish 2 November Alpha 1 up on the screen. One brief moment, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Howes, we had discussed or mentioned about how Instagram returns get sent back. And so I want to walk through some of these with you. Can you tell the jury, this is from the Instagram account associated with Rodelius Ryan?
Correct?
And this Instagram business record and page number, is that from the larger PDF embedded in the returns from those records?
Yes. So that is, you see it's titled Instagram Business Records. This would have been stored on page 125 of the PDF returned for the records with Mr. Ryan.
And what does this message on page 125 state?
So what you will see here is it's Instagram story post by slimelife.shawty that states, I love you, with a green heart, at Slime Business Rod, you realer than me. And then in smaller print at the bottom of the page, it would say, it says, full throttle about you, with a red heart emoji.
What was the, scrolling down, will Instagram, after a post such as that in the records, is this date and time? Can you kind of explain this for the jury?
Well, this is actually, so this is the photo ID. You would have to scroll up to know the date and time of the post for this particular post. It would be on page 124 whenever this particular post was sent.
Okay.
So if you wanted to figure that out, you could also copy the photo ID and then search it in the larger records, and it would take you to the post if you have the full records. But I'm not exactly sure when this would have been posted without that.
Understood. I will publish 2 November Alpha. So if you open up the Instagram records, from Rodelius Ryan's Instagram, if I toggle back to what we were just discussing, this photo ID number
Yes.
highlighted in blue that ends in 2262.
Yes.
If you search that as here and click enter, will it bring you to when it was posted?
Yes. So, okay. So I was wrong. So it was below. So it has, if you scroll up, oh, all right, you see the post, keep scrolling up. Okay. All right. So sorry, I was wrong. Scroll down again.
Okay.
You were correct. So you will see the photo ID. Here's the ID of the photo. It is 1986848663869412262. It says this was taken 2:25 at 5 UTC, which would be 12 a.m. And it says it expires at 2:26 at 5 a.m. Or I'm sorry, at would be 12 a.m. On 2:26. So
Are these up for 24 hours?
so basically, this is an Instagram story that Slime Business Rod was tagged in that he reshared, and it was posted on 2/25/2019, and then it was up for 24 hours, and it would expire, and it wouldn't be able to be viewed by the followers or whoever had access to view the Instagram account after that amount of time.
Going back to these excerpts from the Instagram account associated with Rodelius Ryan, I wanted to go to page 127.
Yes.
Now, in what's published, is it slight, is there, or what is depicted in this photograph or mentioned in the message?
It says, love these in words.
Oh, hold on one second. With what's on the screen? Or what's at the top?
Oh, okay. At the top, it says, I'm not in the picture with a laughing face emoji.
And then there's a photograph.
Correct.
And if you scroll to the bottom, then what does it read?
So it reads, love these in words, red heart emoji, BL, which is Block Life. And it says, at one Briss, at real life 1_FR, at Lil 9 Life, and then it said Block Life, and it's got the no, I guess, emoji for like the no smoking sign, and then it's got no, and then it's got a cap, no cap, and then it says hashtag no IG bear. So it's denoting the people that are in this picture, and then stating this is Block Life, no cap to Block Life, and then stating that bear does not have an IG.
So scrolling down to what was the date that this is posted?
So you're going to see that the photo ID just below the photo, and then again, let me do it this way. Just below the photo, you're going to have that photo ID, and then that matching ID. It says taken on. It was this Instagram story was posted on 2/24/2019 at 23:24 UTC, which would be, I believe, 6:24 p.m. And then it expired on February 25th, 2019, and exactly 24 hours later. So it would have been the 24th of February when it was posted, and then was taken down.
And going to the next in this excerpt, what does this on page 129 of this Instagram, what's the top state?
So again, it states this is going to be another Instagram story. that was posted on Rodelius Ryan's account. It states burnt bitch. And it's a picture with Rodelius Ryan displaying cash and a person that I'm not familiar with. And it says in green lettering, I tried it once, now I can't leave without my gun on me. And below it, go FW it. FW is an acronym for fuck with it.
When was this posted?
So you'll see that same photo ID, that was posted on, so this would have been on February 23rd, 2019. So actually, it was posted at 12:05 a.m. on February 23rd, 2019. So it would have been the same day as the homicide as Jamari Holmes.
Is this 12:55 a.m. as opposed to 12:05?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 12:55 a.m. It is 12:55 because it was 055 UTC.
Scrolling down to page 137, what is the Instagram, or let me ask you this. So scrolling up, what does this message read, and who was the original poster's handle?
So the original poster would have been do it for Phil _.
And what is the message that is in this post?
It states so-called is the top. When them so-called OGs don't feed them young N-words, it boosts up the crime rate.
And are you able on Instagram, if someone shares a story, if this is the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan, to repost or reshare?
Yes, this would have been a repost of Do It for Phil's story by Rodelius Ryan.
And what was the date and time, or what was the date without the time?
The date was February 18th of 2019. And it was just like all stories posted for 24 hours and it expired on February 19th, 2019.
Now going to page 143.
Yes.
What is this the same Instagram handle that we discussed with the very first post at Slime Life, SHAWTY?
Yes. So it says slime. All we know, we can't go out bad at Slime Life Shoddy. Red heart emoji. Loyalty over love. This would have been a post by Rodelius Ryan tagging at Slime Life Shardy in the post.
And what was the date of this post?
This Instagram story would have been posted on February 12th, 2019, and expired on February 13th, 2019. Again, showing in the story section of Mr. Ryan for 24 hours.
And going to page 145, what does this story show or state?
It states, rest up, boo, I got you forever. Or I got you sliding forever.
And what was the time, or excuse me, the date of this post?
It would have been posted on February 10th, 2019. It would have been up for 24 hours on the story and expiring on February 11th, 2019.
Going to PDF page 13, what does this caption read or post read?
It says, none but straighten love, you done 183 bear emoji. States, this N-word was a legend in the streets that shit hurt my soul to know he gone. He used to like Meek Mill for some reason. I guess that's who he...
Yes,
May we approach briefly?
you may.
Kyle's. What does the remainder of this post state?
I don't know where I left off, so it said, this N-word was a legend in the streets. That shit hurt my soul to know he gone. He used to like Meek Mill for some reason. I guess that's who he thought was real in the rap game. He always told me never watch a man pocket, again, omitting the C, and think you deserve the money he got. That's why the rest of them N-words broke.
And was this on January 21st of 2019?
It was a story posted on January 21st, 2019, and it was up for 24 hours.
Now, going past page 166, going to page 203, do you see, can you describe for the jury kind of how you have a post and you have, you know, graphics on the front with Instagram and these stories? What is this? Is this a repost, a new post?
So this looks to be like a post. It's a screenshot of a post that was then posted by Mr. Ryan's account.
And what was the original Instagram handle from this post?
So it's going to be Ocean Drive Slim with the S in Ocean replaced with a 5. And it states at Slime Business Rod. And it's got, it's written in lime green with a green heart, champagne bottle emoji. It's got a snake emoji, and it says, "Happy birthday, little bro, live it up." And it says hashtag slime business, and then it's got a green heart emoji and a snake.
And what was the date of this post?
The date would have been posted by Mr. Ryan's account on December 20th, 2018, and it remained up for 24 hours. And it states that it is a, you can see where the status of it, so it's a deleted reshare by the original media. So
What does that mean?
basically it means he shared a post that was deleted by its original poster. He reshared it.
Publishing what's been already admitted as 426 Yankee. What is the Instagram handle with 426 Yankee?
What page did you go to?
It's going to be on the screen only.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Howes, can you do me a favor and look at the screen to 426 Yankee? And I wanted to ask you,
Just would renew any previous objection.
All right, thank you.
I wanted to ask you, what is the Instagram handle from 426 Yankee?
It is the Ocean Drive Slim. Again, with the S in Ocean replaced with a 5. And then it says, yeah, is that all you wanted?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about the handle.
Okay.
Going back to, is that the same handle in the post that we were just discussing?
Yes. So what that post was is essentially when a person is tagged by another individual, like let's say in this case, Mr. Rodelius Ryan would have been tagged in a happy birthday wish, and then you can also reshare that over the Instagram, Mr. Ryan's Instagram. So he was resharing where he was tagged on a birthday post.
Going to the next in 2 November Alpha 1. So is this another reshare, as in the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan is resharing it, or can you describe this post where you have?
Yeah, he would have been tagged, and it looks like he's resharing a post posted by Do It for Phil, where Do It for Phil tagged Slime Business Rod. It's hard to see the Do It for Phil as being the original poster because it's in white and it's like a white on white background. But you can see he was sharing a picture of Ryan, and what it says, if you scroll down, it's a picture of Rodelius Ryan. He is wearing a necklace with a YSL pendant. He has a firearm tucked into his waistband, and it says hashtag Top Shotta, happy snake emoji day young, at Slime Business Rod, with another heart emoji, and it says youngest in charge, and it has several, I guess, laughing emojis as well as a crying emoji.
And is this original post where beneath that where it says Slime Business Rod?
No, the original poster is Do It for Phil, and he's posting a picture. He's posting a picture of Slime Business Rod and saying this is his account. He's tagging that picture and wishing him happy Snake Day, happy birthday.
And what is the last message after Slime Business Rod in this post?
Oh, it says, Cleveland is the jungle. Most of you inwards wouldn't survive. Hashtag Glocks and Choppas. So that was the original tag posted by Slime Business Rod.
And is that, what kind of emoji is that afterwards?
A demon.
What about the very end, the bottom?
It's got a picture of a smiley face with its mouth shut with a zipper, zipped shut.
And was this posted on December 20th of 2018?
Yes, it was posted December 20th, and it expired 24 hours later on December 21st. So you can, again, see that it says deleted. It expired. It was a story, and it was a reshare of the media posted by Do It for Phil.
Scrolling down further, this is another post in the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan.
Yes.
And what does this one read?
It reads, shoot the ops, make them catch on fire emoji. The catch as a spell with a K with replacing a C. And it says hashtag Opsville with the emoji of someone's head exploding.
And what is this posted on December 6th of 2018?
Yes, and it was a story post, and it was up for 24 hours. Expired on, no, it was posted on December 6th and then expired on December 7th.
going down further, are you able to, with Instagram stories, have like a graphic or photograph posted from your
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, you can.
And are you able to read what
Yes.
this states?
I'm going to object to this being admitted. This is something which was discussed previously and was subject to foundation. I don't think that foundation's been laid.
All right, so it's a foundation objection.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Hiles is reading what we've previously discussed. So I'm not asking Mr. Hiles. This is in evidence, and we have previously addressed this, all parties in the state. So I don't know what the foundation is of an admitted exhibit.
If it's admitted, forgive me, I just may not recall exactly what
The
the
ruling from-
objection was, so maybe y'all want to approach again. Do y'all want to take a quick break? Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, for the jury.
All right, I'm sorry, Ms. Abassi, you may just have to remind me.
Yes, Judge. When we addressed these photos specifically, this is one, I believe we objected on relevance, that it didn't have any relevance at this point, and Your Honor's ruling was that it would be subject to some sort of foundation or connection, and that's not come in at this point.
So it's a relevance objection.
Yes. But
And this exhibit is already in evidence.
so what we had discussed, and the state is well aware of, is that the entirety of the records were put in for the sake of completeness, but the entirety of the content is not something which, the entirety of the record is placed into evidence, so there is the entire record. The part which is evidence in this case, that if the jury said, we'd like to see what the evidence was, we've already discussed that, and this is within that category.
Meaning the two of you amongst yourselves have discussed that?
With,
Your Honor, if I may briefly. I rewatched the hearing that we had on these because I always want to be transparent. I don't want to publish something that the court said was subject to foundation. I'm trying to pull up my notes on this. And so this exhibit has been, the state has twice or three times, and by the state, I've personally been redacting either names or the photographs in that exhibit we posted in line with conversations with defense counsel and rulings by this honorable court. And this, everything that ADA Hiles is publishing, which is why I did it this way, is what has been shared with all defense counsel, and I've had ample conversations, and there's nothing new in what's being published. And so I'm trying to pull up my notes from the hearing because I would have not included if it was subject to foundation with Hiles.
Can you
I'm
tell
not
me what
perfect,
day
but
the hearing was?
yes, Your Honor, it was October 9th. And I have time hacks in my notes from the YouTube of when rulings were made. So I'm trying to find that so that the court can refresh to find that.
to the extent that the state intends on calling someone to lay this foundation later, I think this is cumulative now to have him simply reading them out when at this point there's no context. But someone else is going to come and do that later.
So, Your Honor, and any defense counsel, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe through Detective Belknap, Rudy Gang and the individual who was deceased and is referenced and is tattooed on some of the co-defendants in this case with Rudy Gang has been discussed through either a witness or a gang detective. And if I'm wrong on that, correct me, but that has been referenced in this trial writ large. I was not physically present for Detective Belknap, who was the first witness, but my understanding from even since when I have been is there has been some discussion of that. And number two, this is an admitted exhibit that I intentionally kept within the four corners of what defense counsel, this court, we've all discussed. So there shouldn't be any surprises in what I'm walking through, because I wanted to avoid any kind of hiccup with publication.
I'm not saying that this is a surprise. This is just not the appropriate time or the appropriate witness to be bringing it in.
Your Honor, if there's a rule of evidence objection, which was foundation, this is an admitted exhibit. So I don't know how to address a foundational objection with an admitted exhibit. That is a pre-admitted objection.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take a break as well, and if any of y'all need to take a break while the jury is out, do that quickly, because I'm sure it'll take the jury a few minutes. get all the attorneys back and the defendants, please. Yeah. They know better than that, right? They know. Do we know whether the jury's ready when we get everybody out? Because we'll need them in maybe 2 minutes. All right, I think we have everybody, so let's get the jury out. Ready? All right, we're getting the jury out. Everybody please rise. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Atkins.
So, Mr. Hiles, I'm publishing what's marked as page 240 of States Exhibit 2, November Alpha 1. It should be coming up here in just 1 second. And how does this read?
Rudy 4L Gang.
And what was the date of this post?
12/2/2018. It was a story and it was up for 24 hours.
Now, for these stories, are they public or private in terms of are they shared to specific people, or can anyone on Instagram view these?
So I don't know how his account settings were. If his account settings were private, then only his followers could view them. If his account settings were open to the public, then whoever looked up Slime Business Ride could view those postings.
Going to page 244, in this slide, how does this read, or what does this say?
It says, love all my snake emojis, and then it's tagged several Instagram names, those names being Slime Life Shawty, lilslime.vert, at Lil Got It, at Lil Keed, at playa_nut, at blocklife_okky, at blocklife.burna, at ESPN_pokey, at 1bslime, and at 1.jdog.
And that post, was that November 28th of 2018?
Yes, it was. It was just up for 24 hours.
Moving to page 258, what does this post depict?
Appears to be several handguns, one of them having, or a couple of them having some extended magazines, and it says Guns and Roses.
And that was posted, is it November 22nd of 2018?
That's correct.
Going to the next post on PDF page 260, what does this post state?
So, the top word, it basically makes slime, I guess, an acronym. And it spells slime at the top, and it says S, sorry, L, Lord, I is I'm, M is money, and E is educated. So, sorry, Lord, I'm money educated, and then it's surrounded by snake emojis.
And was that posted on November 22nd of 2018?
Yes, it was posted on that date and up for 24 hours on his story.
Going to page 315, is this another story from Rodelius Ryan's Instagram?
I would have to see to confirm it was a story. I'd have to see the photo description below it.
And what was the date of this?
So if you can you enlarge it, please? So yes, it is a story that was posted on 10/20/2018 and expired on October 21st of 2018.
Now, I wanted to show you, or ask you, I should say, give me 1 second. Is there also, remember when we started, we discussed the Instagram index,
Yes.
and there was those blue hyperlinks in the bottom.
Yes.
Is one of those in Instagram records a linked media?
Yes.
Can you explain for the jury how that linked media works when you get Instagram records returns back, like the records in the case we're discussing?
Sure. You want to pull it up and
Yes.
I can explain?
So I'm pulling up index in the same exhibit we were just discussing associated with Rodelius Ryan, which is 2 November Alpha. Mr. Howes, can you show with the jury on that screen
So for linked media, it's not going to be here. You need to go to the actual folder.
Got it. Give me one quick second.
Yes.
Just to be sure, before something's displayed, can we just make sure it's in evidence since it's not included in that exhibit, from what I understood?
So, Your Honor, the disc that's in evidence, that's 2 November through 6, and there's a couple subsections. That is folders, subfolders, all the bells and whistles from the Instagram returns that Mr. Howes has been discussing. So it's not just PDFs, it is the entirety of those.
All right, so whatever it is we're searching for now, or that y'all are searching for now, is a part of what's already been admitted?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
And Your Honor, just for the record, to make it clear, the disk that operates on, it's faster to save that to my desktop. So I am opening that same folder from that exhibit on my desktop.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Howes,
Okay, so this is what you were going to see from. Can you make it bigger?
yes.
All right. Well, this is what you're going to see when you get the returns from Instagram. You're sent a zip file from Instagram.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this on relevance of going through the exact file names and the procedurally how to get to the item we're trying to reference.
Trying to see if there's going to be a response or.
So, Your Honor, I'm trying to efficiently, through Mr. Howes, just show the jury where these come from. The videos, because you have to, that's all, the state believes this is relevant for how the videos we're going to be publishing, where they came from.
All right, I'm going to permit it.
Okay. So what you get here in linked media is going to be every file, whether it's picture, video, or anything that is attached to a post. And so that is going to be the actual file where you can view the videos and actually view the media without having to open the full files. Every media file that's shared in the linked media is going to have that unique either photo ID or direct story number, and it's going to correlate with the PDF, the number, so you can see in the PDF file when it was published. And then this is the linked media is the actual media that was published with that, whether it be story, direct message, or direct story. So that's where all of the files are contained.
And just circling back, you had mentioned about if someone shares a story, whether it's private or public, is those stories shared, is it ever to just one person in what we were walking through, or can you explain that a little
So
more?
a direct story is only shared with the people, they can denote who can see it. If it's like the message we spoke about earlier, it was a direct story and it was shared originally from Ms. Hartfield to Mr. Ryan and Mr. Blaylock. Those are the only people that could see that. Instagram has another option of their story where you can denote close friends. Close friends are whomever the user designates as their close friends. You can publish a story and only the people you've designated as your close friends can view it. Or if it is not designated as that, if you have a public account, then whoever comes to your page can see it. Otherwise, only your followers will be able to see that particular story.
Understood. And
so
when you open up that linked media folder, does it contain all of you see how it has direct stories, media, and numbers after them?
So yes, so it's going to tell you what type of file it is, the size of it. Now this date right here is 7/22/2019. What that denotes is when this file was unzipped from what Facebook provided. So this is a digital record of when this file was originally unzipped and opened. Now, the direct stories and the numbers correlating with it, that is what you can see in the PDF, the business records, as to the actual published date by the owner of the account.
Now, I'm going to publish for you. Give me 1 second. So that number that the file is saved as, if you were to search that in the larger PDF, would you be able to tell the date it was posted?
You can get the date and the time it was posted. And there's two places you can search it. You can search it in the actual PDF records that we've been going about. These are the business records that we've been discussing. Or Instagram also provides to you what's called an index, where all of this digital media is indexed and you can view it in digital format. They provide it in both ways. The linked media, you don't need to be connected to the internet to be able to figure out the time and date. You just have to have the business records downloaded and be able to correlate the number of the associated with the linked media to the numbers in the business records. Or if you go to the index, you have to be connected to the internet and you can view it in a different digital format.
I'm going to publish. Thank you, Mr. Howes. I'm going to publish for you a video that ends in 4719.
Okay.
It's going to come up momentarily.
Nigga, we ride back, run through this shit. Yeah, fuck wrong with y'all, nigga. We ride back, run through this shit. Fuck wrong with y'all.
Yeah, peace and blessings.
Gang, peace and blessings type shit.
Peace and blessings.
Y'all know they're the real one.
Okay, so you see that number? It's at the bottom of the screen right here.
Yes.
4719.
If I copy that number in the PDF return for the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan, will that help us find out the date and time for this video?
Well, it'll tell you the date and time the video was posted.
republishing for you the larger PDF Instagram business record for this account. And do you see how in the top right, if you search that video identifier, if I click this, will it take me to the date and time posted?
Yes.
When was that video posted?
So it was posted as a story. It was posted October 11th, 2018. And if you scroll down, there it goes. And then it was up for 24 hours, and you can see that it expired 24 hours later at the same time it was from the time it was posted.
Now, if you were to take an Instagram video from your phone, how does that, is there anything like the mirror effect? Can you explain that?
Well, anything that's filmed like this, the camera on the front of the lens, when you have it reversed, the picture is going to show up in mirrored image.
I'm going to publish a video contained in the same exhibit that ends in 68521.
Fuck the home my bed. You finna give me some? Oh yeah, put on them something. I ain't mad. They finna wear these sheets or something. For sure. Grown the hell.
Now, before testifying on the stand now, were you able to review this specific video in the Instagram records?
Yes.
And what, did you see anything of note in this video?
I did, and I will note when I watched it on your computer screen, I had to turn the brightness all the way up.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this witness testifying to what of note is. I think it's vague.
Your Honor, I can rephrase.
All right.
Did you see a gun in this video?
Yes,
Mr. Hobbs?
I'm going
there's
to
a
object to the witness narrating what the jurors are just as capable of viewing.
Overruled.
Yes, there's an AR-style rifle being held by Mr. Ryan with a drum magazine.
What is a drum magazine?
Drum magazine is a high-capacity magazine that is in the shape of a circular shape, in the shape of a drum. That's carries high volume of rounds.
And was there any jewelry that you saw when reviewing this video?
Yes, he's wearing Mr. Ryan's wearing a chain that's YSL. And as like you asked earlier, the YSL looks backwards as in a mirror image as it was filmed with the camera turned around on the phone.
And if I were to control and search this video number, would I be able to find when this video was posted?
Yes, you would.
Republishing the Instagram business record for these records. When was this video published?
It was published October 20th, 2018, and it expired 24 hours after it was published.
Now, Mr. Howes, I wanted to also show you a video that ends in 40944.
Can you stop that? You may. You can take it off the screen for now.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can republish.
Thank you, Your Honor. And if, same question, Mr. Howes, if you were to search that number for that video in the records, you'd be able to tell the date and time it was posted?
Yes.
Republishing the PDF? What was the date and time of that video posted?
October 31st, 2018.
Now, I also want to show you or publish what's been marked or what a video that ends in 71797 in the linked media of this exhibit. And for the record, it's actually 71797, publishing momentarily.
Block life. Block life, no one again. 250, no one again. Bet y'all push nigga can't come up here in that block.
Yeah, no
Kill
cap.
a ride, gonna shoot at your fitty. That's no cap. Pussy boy.
Zico having that shit on him.
Yeah,
You ain't
look,
gonna say
that's
too much,
what I'm saying.
So at the bottom left would have been the number associated with it.
So if I were to search the PDF with that number in the bottom left, that would pull up when that video was posted?
It would.
What was the date and time of that video posted?
So that video was posted on, so it says it's posted 2/23/2019 at 3:05:47 UTC. That would have been 10:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it was up for 24 hours. So that would have been the night prior to the murder of Mr. Holmes.
And by night prior, you mean if the November CAD report was around 4:30 a.m. on the 23rd, this would be the hours before that on February 22nd?
Yeah, this would be 10:05 p.m. February 22nd.
Now, with IG live stories, if you go through the index, can you also find those videos?
So if there were IG lives, they would be preserved only if there was a preservation request within the 24 hours that the story was posted.
Pulling up from the index in this same exhibit, one brief moment. So when you pull up videos from the index versus the linked media, what is the date that this video was taken? That
Okay, so what I talked about earlier, this is going to be inside of the index, and this will be the actual digital version that you can look at. It is, if you... Can you make it any bigger? Or?
I can.
So this is all right. So it's going to tell you the media format MP4. It's going to have the video number, which would be also in the PDF. Here's the ID number again, and this was posted on 2/21, 2019, and it was up for 24 hours.
So this was February 21st of 2019?
Yes.
And the bottom there, the @Slime Life, SHAWTY, was that a handle we had discussed in the PDF?
It is. That's who was tagged during this video. I believe this is an Instagram live story.
I'm going to publish this now.
Going to object to this witness testifying to what types guns are unless there's a sufficient foundation laid for the basis of his knowledge.
Shane.
I can lay the foundation,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
go ahead.
Mr. Howes, do you have any personal familiarity with firearms?
Yes.
What is that? Can you tell the jury?
So I grew up around firearms, hunting, shooting, sometimes mostly recreational shooting and hunting. But I do have, I guess, just a knowledge of study of firearms, different types of firearms, calibers. That.
Have you ever, do firearms come up in the gang cases that you work?
Yes.
Have you had any conversations or training from law enforcement personnel about firearms? And if so, what is it?
So I mean, I've read books myself, I've educated myself, but I haven't taken any like formal like firearms forensic classes. I understand calibers.
Have you had conversations with firearm specialists at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
Yes.
In cases? Have you had various firearms come up in cases that you've worked?
Yes.
And can you tell the jury, in terms of firearms of a similar nature of this video, have you visually seen and learned about what different types of firearms look like, and if so, how?
So there's different platforms that firearms can be built on, and there are calibers that are associated with that platform. I cannot tell you by looking at that firearm exactly what caliber the firearm is. I can only tell you what
Objection, Your Honor, still don't think a foundation has been laid.
Okay, well, it's being laid potentially right now. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
yeah.
You may keep going, Mr. Howes.
So I can tell you I can look at a firearm and tell you the general platform that it's been made on, the calibers consistent with that platform, but I cannot tell you exactly what firearm is just by looking at it without having a serial number or being able to see the engravings.
When you say platform, what do you mean by that?
A platform, the platform that the rifle is built on is think of the gun as being built in parts. There's a lower portion of the firearm and then an upper portion of the firearm, and the platform is essentially how it is put together, how the It's how the gun is put together.
Have you had experience with 9mm firearms, either personally or in cases you've worked?
Yes, all the time.
Have you had familiarity with AK-47 type firearms in cases that you've worked?
Yes, consistently.
Have you had familiarity with firearms that fire 7.62 rounds?
Yes.
Have you had familiarity with firearms that fire 9mm rounds?
Yes.
And if you had to ballpark how many such firearms you've either personally observed or seen in working investigations in either your personal capacity or professional capacity?
As far as the 9mm, it'd be a couple hundred. And then when you deal with the AK style platforms, I'd say between investigations and personal, maybe 75 to 100.
Your Honor,
All right, I'm going to overrule the foundation objection. You can go ahead and answer the question.
so I know you said without seeing a serial number you cannot definitively state, but visually only, what type of firearm does it appear to be depicted on the screen right now?
It's just an AK-47 style platform. That's all I can tell
And how are you able to determine that?
you. So by looking at the firearm and being familiar with AK-47 style platforms, I mean, you see it's a rifle barrel. It's built on looking at the upper portion and lower portion of the rifle. I can tell you it's an AK-47 style rifle. I can't tell you the caliber though.
And for AK-47 style rifles, what is the typical ammunition that accompanies them?
Generally, it is the 7.62 NATO rounds.
Now, I am pulling up to show you you had discussed earlier about the videos and being either in ascending or descending order. Do you remember that?
Yes?
And is if you were to open up the index and pull up videos, would the most recent video posted appear at the top or not?
I'd have to look at it to tell you. I know that when you're looking at direct stories and the way they're posted and shared, those are in descending order. But I can, if I viewed it, I could tell you, but I can't tell you offhand right now.
Understood. I'm going to publish the index in what's been admitted as 2 November. What is the date and time of this post? And I will try to zoom in for you. I know it's...
So this is an Instagram live video. And this video would have been up only for as long as he was going live. But the video was taken on February 25th. Oh, you scrolled down too far.
My apologies.
We scroll up a little.
Can you see that now?
Yeah. So if you look here, the video was taken, posted February 25th, 2019, 5:31 and 44 seconds UTC. So that's going to be 12:31 a.m. on February 25th, 2019, Eastern Standard Time.
And when you have this user slime business rod, this number, is that what you had discussed earlier about the vanity name?
Yes. No, that's not the vanity name. Cleveland is going to be the name.
And what is the text that accompanies this?
I'm sorry. So slime business rod is the vanity name. The number ending in 1951, that's the account number or target number associated with the account. And then on his records, Cleveland Ave with that pin drop, that is going to be the name that was associated with this account.
And what is the text that was accompanied this video?
It is so will you scroll up? I want to make sure that I think
Yes.
so go above this video. All right, so here's the video. If you scroll down, so it's published. Okay, so yeah, so the user is Slime Business Rod. That's the account number, Cleveland. The text is going to say 10K solid with a snake emoji and a gun, like a toy gun pointed at the snake, says fuck YFN.
Now, I also wanted to, do you have before you as well some excerpts from Blaylock's Instagram return?
I do.
And is that 3 November Bravo?
It is.
Publishing 3 November Bravo for the jury? Do you know who's depicted in this photograph?
I believe it's Mr. Blaylock.
And what is the date? I'm going to scroll down. What is the date associated with this post?
The date of that post is going to be February 24th, 2019.
That 11 o'clock roughly UTC time? So about 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern time?
It would have been Eastern time, or it was posted at 23:19 UTC time, and it would have, which I guess would coordinate to about 11 o'clock, yes.
Okay. Scrolling down to page 152. What does this post read on Blaylock's Instagram?
It reads rock crew with a Instagram emoji, an LLB with a green heart emoji, and then it's tagging at Slime Business Rod.
When was that posted?
Would have been posted January 4th of 2019.
Brief moment, Your Honor. So I'm going to go back to 2 November Alpha 1, and specifically page 33. You can either, I'm going to have it displayed on the screen, or you can have the physical copy before you. And let me know if you can see this. I'm going to hide this floating panel that gets in the way. Is this do you see Slime Business Rod Instagram in this thread?
Yes.
And who is the author of that first post, and what does it state?
So you're going to see it. This time was sent at 10/10/2018, 17:13 UTC. There's a text that was sent. Here's the thread ID denoting the members. So in this case, it's Maniac Rolac, with the C's being replaced by the X's. The text says slat, and because this is in the PDF format, you're not going to know what the emojis are. If you looked at it in the index, you'd see what the emojis were after it. But it says slat, what's blazing, twin?
And is there a response from the author Slime Business Rod handle?
So if you look, here is, yes, there is. Same thread ID number. And it was sent at 10:10 and at 17:15. And the response says SHID, SHIDD, Boolin, BOOLIN.
And is there a response back from the initial poster?
Yes, you can see the response. The author is Maniac Rolac, and his response is right side.
Now going to page 34, do you see with the highlights, is this 05EA and Drive Slim the Instagram handle we had discussed earlier with some photographs?
Yeah, I believe it's Ocean Drive Slim.
And is this a thread between that Instagram handle and the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan?
Yes, so it's going to be Slime Business Rod and Ocean Drive Slim are going to be the people on it. And every message in that, between those two specific individuals, will have the same thread ID ending in 93476.
And what is the date for the thread we're currently on?
The date is going to be October 27th, 2018.
And this thread continues on?
So if you're going to figure out if the thread continues on, I would copy the thread ID and then just go from text to text, but it appears to be doing so, yes.
Now, I wanted to scroll down to you, to scroll down and show this Y0095 Brazy. Did that Instagram handle come up in your review of these Instagram records?
Yeah, so that was a separate Instagram account, a completely different account that had been run by Tahiria Hartfield.
Is that the same Hartfield from the What's Going One records that we had discussed?
Yes, and the way that we discovered that is in the What's Going One records. She made a post that said, "Man, I miss my old account," and she posted @Y95 Brazy.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
This is in.
So, Your
All of
Honor,
this in?
this specific part how, oh, I may need to approach to respond. I don't want to have a speaking objection, but it's how Mr. Hiles connected these accounts.
We'd like to approach.
Last answer by the witness. Go ahead, Mr. Adkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Howes is going to come up on the screen. The same exhibit 2, November, Alpha 1. Some messages in the Instagram associated with Rodelius Ryan. Let me know if you can see this on the screen while I get this panel to hide, hopefully. And with this first statement, can you read what that says from free, the Instagram handle with free JUJU to?
So I can see that the author is Slime Business Rod. Recipients are Free Juju and Slime Business Rod. So those are the only two that are part of this thread. It's going to be a text. Here's the thread ID, and it says, the text that was sent says, that shit tripping, I gotta tell you something, shit that happened today.
And is this first one when we had talked about video calls in the previous?
So there was a.
Is this how it's shown?
That's how it's shown in the record. So at 11, if you scroll up a little bit.
Yes.
Scroll up. Keep going. All right, there you go. So you're going to see item type. Whoa.
So just specifically with this video call event right here, item type, do you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it would have been at November 1st, 2018, 3:28 UTC. So about 10:28 p.m. on October 31st, 2018.
And after this free JUJU account says, talking about telling something that happened, scrolling down, was the recipient of that Slime Business Rod?
slow down a little if we go
Yes.
back?
So this is page 513 is the page we just discussed. Page 512.
Oh, you went way too far.
Oh, okay.
All right, there. So the author was Free Juju, _ Free Juju, and the other recipient besides himself would be the first line of the next page. And that would have been Slime Business Rod. And the text that he sent would have stated what happened.
And what's the response?
There- it looks like, is that intentionally redacted?
Disregard any redactions, just what you can read.
Okay. Yeah, so it says, you know the N-word name Bully.
And what does Slime Business Rod respond?
He responds, yeah.
And what does the account with Free JUJU state back?
Says, Tobias had caught for an X while we was walking on the back street to the school. Several emojis that, and then it says, he was on that scary shit, acting like he wasn't gonna bust him down. That boy acting like he wasn't gonna bust him down. That boy Bully drew on his ass on the next street. Tobias was scared as hell.
And then scrolling down to what is the response from Slime Business Rod to that account after that statement?
It says, we wasn't stiking, bro. We was walking to school smoking, and they saw an X on, you need to scroll to the right. We saw an X on the, go back,
Seat.
on the seat.
And then going down to the next time that they discuss, what is the response that Slime Business Rods has to that message to Free JUJU?
He says, y'all reckless, but why y'all let Bully draw down on him? No, y'all N-words can't get bust down. I'ma draw on him on Slime.
Now, going to page 801, do you recall a slimelife.shawty coming up in some of the pictures and posts we've discussed earlier?
I do.
With what's highlighted, what is this message? Who is it between?
The author is Slime Life Shawty, and the recipients are Slime Life Shawty as well as Slime Business Rod. Slime Life Shawty sends a text at 12:20 on 12/20/2018 at 1931 UTC. He says, "What you want for the stick?"
And what is the response back from Slime Business Rod?
None. N-U-N.
And the follow-on from the account slimelife.shawty?
He says, a Glock and some money, posed as a question.
And then continuing down, what is the response that Slime Business Rod has to that?
He said, "Nah, snake."
Now, scrolling down further, on page 880, what is this message that Slime Business Rod sends that's highlighted on the screen?
So it's sent January 5th, 2019 at 4:28 UTC. So that's going to be 11:28 p.m. And it says, "Hey, pull up. We about to slide. Bring the sticks."
Now, going down further, Do you see what's highlighted? What's this first message that Slime Business Rod sends to a handle $1 billion pink?
The flirt, on the way to crucial.
And then is this where you would discuss where if you get multiple threads, they will all show up on the same, when you're looking through these records? Is this an example of that?
Yeah, so a message was received in between the responses to $1 Billion Pink and Ocean Drive. So, yes.
So with the conversation between Slime Business Rod and $1 Billion Pink, he states OTW to crucial.
Yeah, and so you notice it's got the thread ID ending in 4706. And then the other conversation between Ocean Drive and and Slime Business Rod, that thread ID is ending in 3476.
And the response back is it, who are you with? Is that what that Instagram says to Rodelius Ryan's Instagram account?
So that is the response from $1 Billion Pink to the conversation with Slime Business Rod. It says, "Bra, who you with?"
And scrolling down further, what is Rodelius Ryan's response to that?
The response to "who you with" question from $1 Billion Pink is "gang."
Now, while that conversation's going on, is this 05 in Drive Slim, is this message, it says we time getting to crucial,
Yeah, I mean, it says what time you get into crucial.
and then scrolling down, is this a message from the Instagram of Rodelius Ryan to that 05 in Drive Slim that says now OTW on the way?
Yeah, now we're on the way.
And later on,
This is exactly why I go through it conversation by conversation and then pull out the ID thread so you don't have the interruptions in between.
scrolling down further, do you see this message with Block Life OKKY? That's highlighted.
Scroll up
Yes.
just to the bottom of the last page. No, up.
So these are,
The bottom of it would have, if that was on 904, scroll, can you go up to the bottom of 903?
so this was on 940.
Oh, okay.
Are these excerpts from Rodelius Ryan's Instagram?
Yeah.
So with page 940, what does this state from Block Life OKKY and Slime Business Rod?
Scroll back. To the left, please.
Yes.
The Block Life, the text is going to be, he said, "What you trying to do?" He talking about going to Lacuna. I'm about to get dropped off to Big Nick spot. Ain't going to no damn Lacura.
And then does the account associated with Rodelius Ryan say never mind, or is NVM sometimes abbreviated as never mind?
Yes.
And then a little later on with this conversation, is this the same Block Life OKKY and Slime Business Rod Instagram account?
Yes, it is.
And does he ask the account associated with Rodelius Ryan, what is the move?
So the author of that would have been Block Life OKK asking Slime Business Rod, what is the move?
And what is the response from Slime Business Rod to that Instagram holder?
So that's going to be the response of Slime Business Rod to Block Life _ OKKY is going to be, "Shit, Slime, gone from the store, the studio."
And then does Block Life ask Slime Business Rod who?
Yes.
Scrolling down a little further, does the account with Slime Business Rod respond MAJA?
Yes.
And is this January 1st of 2019?
It looks like it's January 11th of
Or excuse me,
2019.
January 11th of 2019.
Yeah, January 11th, 2019.
And going further, what does the Block Life Instagram handle respond back?
Asks the question, poses the question, what studio they at? And the response from Slime Business Rod is, I don't know. And then Slime Business Rod next sends a message to blocklife_OKKY stating, didn't they leave the store? And the
And-
response from blocklife_OKKY is, yeah, they've been left. Last time I checked, they was at Lacura with Dolly them about 2 hours ago.
And does Mr. Ryan respond back, okay?
Yes, that's the response.
Scrolling down a little bit further is with the highlighted text, do you see where only one snake face states with who?
Yes.
And who's the recipient of that?
The recipient is going to be Slime Business Rod.
And who does he state that he's with?
States that he's with everybody.
And scrolling down a little. One brief moment, Your Honor. One brief moment, Your Honor. Resuming on page 48 of 2 November Alpha 1, do you see highlighted in the bottom, Mr. Howes, where is this, what does this message read?
It says, fuck you, you hang with them 9-2 inwards.
And was that to free JUJU?
Yeah, that was the underscore free juju from Slime Business Rod.
And is this January 19, 2019?
It is.
Now, scrolling down further, what is the response back from that account? Bless you. Ron.
That response from underscore free juju back to Slime Business Rod is, I know a couple and fuck you too, inward.
And then Bless you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sorry.
Later on, what is this response that Slime Business Rod has to free JUJU?
Waiting for that block to go away.
Let's get this hiding floating controls. It should work.
His response is inward, fuck you, and they set. And that was sent from Slime Business Rod to _ free juju.
Scrolling down. Is this the What's Going One account that we had discussed previously, associated with Miss Hartsfield?
Yes.
What is this message between Slime Business Rod associated with Rodelius Ryan and Miss Hartsfield's account here?
So that is Rodelius Ryan sending a message to Miss Hartsfield that says, I don't fuck with you, you fuck with them, ABG N-words, I can't get that over my head on Slime, ABG being Atlanta Blood Gang.
And going down further between those two accounts, what is this response below?
So the response from Ms. Hartsfield is, bruh, fuck them. And she has changed the C to an X. And she said, after that, she said, on my daddy, I'll cut them N-words off. The fuck, that ain't no problem.
And then going down a little bit further, what is the Instagram account associated with Slime Business Rod saying in response?
Slime Business Rod says to What's Going One, to Ms. Hartsfield, he says, I ain't tripping. You making videos with them throwing up 9-2. That's crazy.
And what does she say in response here right below?
Ain't no videos with no, it's going to be woodlums, but it's spelled with, it's going to be the 9-2 in the middle.
You object to this witness having a basis for testifying to what something means?
Well, overruled. I haven't heard him testify to what it means. He's just reading the word off the paper, so. Go ahead.
You may keep going, Mr. Howes.
It just says, ain't got no video with no woodlums, and the O's are replaced with 9-2.
Now, is there a response after that from What's Going On? What's this response here?
Ain't got no videos with no woodlums, what I just read.
Oh, my apologies. And then does What's Going On say you LIEN now?
Yes.
And then this next message, what does What's Going On state?
But on my mama, I'll cut them off, and most of them don't fuck with me because they said I'm slime. Again, the C is replaced with a K.
Going down to page 1073, what is Slime Business Rod's response to that?
His response is, that's crazy.
And going to page 1094, what is the date of this post and what's the message?
So the message is, the date is January 30th, 2019. The message is fuck you and ABG. And what you can see is that there was a reel that was shared, or this was in response to a reel. So I don't know what that reel is, but that's what it indicates. And a reel is a short video.
That can be posted on Instagram?
Yes, and so it was a response to what the contents of that short video, and it says fuck you and ABG.
And is this same YVNGMONT, what's their response?
Young Mont responds, I know you a gangster.
And what's the response back from Slime Business Rod?
Slime Business Rod's response to I know you a gangster is when I catch your bitch ass.
And then what's the response back to that?
Young Mont response is, you know what they say, anybody get it, and that is the A, the B, and the G are capitalized. So see you when I see you.
Now, scrolling to this on highlighted in yellow, do you see this post from February 1st of 2019?
Yes.
Who's the author? Their vanity name handle?
The author's going to be Scarface with the C in both scar and face replaced with an X. And it says, Slat, this SB, what's up?
And then is there a video call event between that Scarface account and Slime Business Rod Instagram?
Yes, there is.
Going down a little further, do you see this free JU account again? What does this message state?
Message states, these the type of N-words y'all let be slime. And then there's several emojis that I don't know what they are.
And going down further between those two messages, and do you see how this message carries over? Does that happen sometimes in Instagram records? It carries over pages?
So it's going to be the time, it's February 2nd, 2019. It's y'all let these nights be 2-7.
I don't want to cut you off. Keep going.
And then the author was Slime Business Rod, and the recipients will be at the top of the next page.
What's the second letter of the alphabet?
B.
What's the seventh letter of the alphabet?
G.
And after that, between those recipients, that's highlighted, what does this free JU account state back?
It says, Free Juju responds, he not official, lil bruh. Said he'd be in 250 for real, though.
And what's the response back from Slime Business Rod?
The response is cap with the C replaced with the K.
Have you ever heard that term cap come up before in reading Instagram records?
Yes.
And what, not necessarily in this context, but what have you seen it been used as before in other cases you've reviewed?
Just referred to as a lie.
Scrolling down further, what is this message that's highlighted state from Slime Business Rod to that free JU account?
He states, that shit lame because you know he don't want you, because you know he don't what you want me to do, kill, and then on my, kill him.
And what's the date of this post, or message, I should say, between these accounts?
The date is February 2nd of 2019.
Scrolling down a little bit further, do you see this SXAR_FAXE account and Slime Business Rod messaging again?
Yeah, I see him messaging with Scarface.
And when it shows that sometimes Instagram, when this gets sent, it can be emojis that aren't in the PDF but are somewhere else.
So if you're viewing this in the digital format, not the PDF style, and the index, you were looking at this conversation, you'd be able to see all of the reels that it was responding to and or emojis that were part of this conversation.
And going down a little bit further, what does Scarface say back to Slime Business Rod?
On February 16th, 2019 at 31 UTC, so this is actually going to be on February 15th, 2019, he says, I'm fucking with you, Slat. We locked in, little brother.
And then is there a number sent between them?
Yes, Scarface sends a number that is a telephone number that is 470-898-6444.
And have you ever seen HML come up in reviewing Instagram records and other investigations?
Yeah, I think it's a very common acronym. It stands for hit my line whenever you need me.
And then is the response back for sure?
The response from Slime Business Rod to hit my line whenever you need me is for show.
Scrolling down, do you see this addicted and then to account?
Addicted to Aju?
Yes.
Yes.
What does this text read right here at February 16, 2019?
What I just said, I know you, but I don't know shit about you.
And does Slime Business Rod say, what do you want to know then?
Yes, he does.
And then what is the follow-on from that account?
The follow-up, the author addicted to Aju says everything.
And going a little bit down further, what does Slime Business Rod account say back?
He says rock crew, ROC crew.
And after that, what does that account respond to the rock crew?
Addicted to Aju _ responds to the rock crew. That response is, that's your name or something?
And then how does he answer that?
Slime Business Rod's response to that is raised on Cleveland.
And is that February 16, 2019?
That was sent at, well, it's actually going to be February 15th, 2019, but it is denoted in UTC time as February 16th, 2019 at 01:50 and 12 seconds.
And then what is this text here between Slime Business Rod and that same account?
The text sent by Slime Business Rod to Addicted to Aju is Lil Rod.
Now, going down further, what is the date of this post from Snake Life _?
So on 2/26/2019 at 17 hours and 53:06 UTC, which is going to be about, so it's going to be, the date's 2/26/2019, and it says, say Slime, Bali lock up for all that shit. And it was sent by Snake Life _.
Directly to Slime Business Rod?
Sent directly to Slime Business Rod.
And Bali was the nickname associated with Blaylock?
Yes.
Scrolling down a little further, do you see this message on the same date, February 26, 2019?
I do.
What does the vanity name DeAndre Smith say to Slime Business Rod?
It says, hit me up ASAP slat, ellipsis, and then ampersand, stay low.
And what is this additional message from that same account to Slime Business Rod?
DeAndre Smith to Slime Business Rod says 911.
And is there a response from Slime Business Rod?
Slime Business Rod says, that's crazy.
And a little later on, what does Snake Life _ say to Slime Business Rod?
Snake Life _ tells Slime Business Rod, the statement is, it's a warrant out for you, Slime.
Now, I also want to turn back to, we had discussed 3 November, Bravo. Was that some excerpts from Blaylock's Instagram that you have before you?
Yes.
I'm publishing page 276, or Instagram page 276 from that exhibit now. And is One King DO1 one of the handles associated with Blaylock?
Yes, that's it from his
I'm going to hide
Instagram.
this floating panel again. And what does it state?
It says, "Why the hell you didn't say you was slime when we was locked up?"
And was that to an Instagram handle that starts with LILK?
I think it's Lil Cam paid for real.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The Instagram account is Lil Cam paid FR.
And what is the response, or what is said here?
The response is, "I ain't know you was slime. I just thought you was blood, slat."
And then going further, what does the Instagram handle associated with Blaylock respond back to that?
Blaylock responds, "OG in that slime shit."
Now, going a little further, do you see this HOTSHYTIL right here in the highlighted?
So underscore hotshot Lil Junior says to One King to One, the text is "A Bali."
And then scrolling down, does that Instagram handle associated with Blaylock ask who's this?
That is the response to "A Bali."
And then what is the response back?
The response from underscore hotshit Lil Junior is the young N-word who stole the Mustang from CEP.
Going down a little bit further, does the Instagram handle associated with Blaylock say WP?
Yep, that's an acronym for "What's Poppin'."
And then what's the response here?
The response from underscore hotshit Lil Junior to the "What's Poppin'" is Key trying to put me in slime, but he said I got to get put in by you.
And then scrolling down a little bit more, what is the follow-on to that message?
And then hotshit Lil Junior continues that with, "Or go to 250.
Are you familiar with an address 250 Cleveland?
Yes.
Scrolling down a little bit further, what is the response from One King DO1?
He says, "Oh, you gon'
Maybe approach, please.
You may.
So moving on from, moving down a little bit further, Mr. Howes?
So let me ask you, are you retracting that
Yeah,
last
yeah,
one?
yes, Your Honor. So I'm retracting that last question
Okay.
or, in response.
All right, so whatever that page was, jurors just disregard that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
So moving to, and I will pull this up for you. Mr. Howes, you should see on the screen here a message. It's PDF page 342. Highlighted in yellow. Do you see that? Starts with U, capital U. And I'm going to hide this panel for you.
So that is a message sent from, that says, "You slime," sent from Mr. Blaylock's account to an account known as Snake Life Maniac, with the C replaced with an X.
And going down further, what's the response from that Snake Life Maniac account?
The Snake Life Maniac account responds, "Yeah, who is you?"
And what does the account associated with Blaylock respond?
On December 30th of 2018, the account responded, Mr. Blaylock's account responded, "Lil Bolly, I'm slime and murder."
And then going down a little bit further, is this, oh, all right, or something of that nature?
The response is, "Oh, I."
And then going down, what does One King DO1 associated with Blaylock state back?
He states, "Yeah, who stamped you in, slime?"
And then what does Snake Life Maniac respond to that?
Snake Life Maniac's response is, "Who stamped? I never seen you on the Ave, exclamation point, question mark."
Going down a little bit further, and that's still between the account associated with Blaylock and this Snake Life Maniac.
Correct.
And is that a U text message? Just the letter U?
Yes, the letter is U.
And what does the account associated with Blaylock state back?
Blaylock states, "I'm on Cleveland all the time and I stay on the Ave."
Scrolling down a little bit further, what does Blaylock state again?
Blaylock states, "I'm big dog, ask about me. My name hold weight on snake."
And then what does Snake Life Maniac respond back?
The response from Snake Life Maniac is, "Oh, I don't be seeing you, buddy. I'm Maniac," in all caps, C replaced with X. "You can ask anybody on the Ave. My name hold weight too."
And what does Snake Life Maniac say again to the account associated with Blaylock?
Who stamped you? Who stamped you though?
And what does the account associated with Blaylock state back?
Pokey.
And when the account associated with Blaylock says Pokey, what does Snake Life Maniac respond with?
He been locked up for good 6-7 years. When you got stamped?
And then what does Snake Life Maniac respond back? Or state, or not respond back, but state again, or state next.
Snake Life Maniac states, "Gorilla stamped me."
And what does the account associated with Blaylock state back?
I was YL Rock Crew.
And does the Snake Life Maniac say, "Oh, all right"?
It says, "Oh, I."
And a little later on, what does Snake Life Maniac state in response to that?
That response is, "Yeah, I never met the Young Rock Crew. I just know Big Eye and the rest."
And Does Blaylock state, "Oh, okay"? And then what is this last message highlighted?
The last message highlighted is I be with twin in them.
So, one brief moment, Your Honor. I'm going to go to page 447, PDF page 14. Do you see this highlighted in the middle here from the account associated with Blaylock 1 King DO1? What does that state?
The author is the Blaylock's account to Throwed Off 9-3. And it says, I stamped you in slime behind the blue house.
And is this posted January 3rd of 2019?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Now, after you reviewed these Instagram records, were you initially focused on the time frame of shortly before February 23rd through that night or evening of the 23rd?
Yeah, my initial review of these records only dealt with the conversations between Hartfield and Mr. Ryan, Hartfield and Mr. Blaylock, Mr. Ryan's conversations with Mr. Blaylock, and then Hartsfield's conversations with Mr. Mitchell on roughly that February 22nd, 2019 date through February 24th, 2019.
Now, did you ever come to learn of any messages in Bernard Mitchell's Instagram that were after the murder of Jamari Holmes?
Yes, I did. The defense attorneys asked me about some potential messages later.
And I want to is what's already admitted as State's Exhibit 4 November. I'm going to go to PDF page 1493 of that exhibit. It's going to come up for you on the screen here in just a moment. Do you see this PFK, DON, and 4L Little Joker?
Yeah, so this would have been a message sent from PFK Don to 4L.LilJoker. 4L.LilJoker is the account associated with Mr. Bernard Mitchell. And the message from PFK John to Mr. Mitchell is, how y'all let my little brother get killed?
And what does the account associated with Bernard Mitchell state in response to that?
Bernard Mitchell's response is, we didn't let him get killed. Them hoes Brazy B and Brazy B Mariah set us up. We shot back with a C replaced with an X.
Going down a little bit further, do you see there's an emoji sent and PFK DON states what happened?
PFK Don asked what happened, yes.
And going down a little bit further, do you see what's highlighted in yellow? What does the Instagram account associated with Bernard Mitchell say in response?
Before I start reading, will you scroll? Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Can you scroll over right more?
Yes.
So it says we was supposed to go just go chill and smoke, and we took to them the weed man house. We took them to the weed man house. Brazy went in the house first. Mariah was still in the car. Then Brazy came back and got Mariah, and we was waiting for them to come back. And then me, Mari, and Red was talking. Then we just heard shots. I tried to pull off. The tires was flat.
And what does he state after that?
He said, then we was shooting back.
Now, I want to go to one last video. That video from the Instagram records associated with Rodelius Ryan on 2 November Alpha. Give me 1 second. Now, do you see this target number highlighted on the screen here before you?
So I don't want to like cross words. I wouldn't call it a target number. That's an ID number that's generally going to be associated with like a video or a picture. The target number is looking for a specific account identification number.
Thank you for that clarification. Is the last four of this 65684 of this ID from a media post?
Yeah, so this is going to be a Instagram story video, and that's going to be the video ID number associated with it. You can see that video would have been posted 2/23/2019 at 22:11:45 UTC. So go back 5 hours, and that would be approximately 5 p.m. I think, if I did the math right.
5 p.m. on February 23rd.
2019, yes.
And was the CAD report we had referenced with you earlier at 4:36 in the morning that same day?
Yeah, so the 911 call for the murder came in just after 4:30 a.m.
Now, if I copy this thread ID, will I be able to see the video that was posted at that date and time?
Are you in the index, or what file is this? It's.
I'm going to go to the video itself.
Yeah. So if you are you posting that copy and paste in the index?
Well, I will.
But yes, you should find it.
Now, I'm sharing this video with you now. And let me let this floating menu control fade away. What does the caption at the bottom state in this video before I play it?
The caption states young N-word shit with a baby emoji, and it says bet YSL make the news. FaceTime exclamation point with the emoji of someone holding their hands in that manner.
And because it's difficult to see and zoom in here, can you do me one favor, Mr. Howes, and just look at the last?
Yeah, so that's the same video that was just displayed in the PDF records with the last 4 digits of the video ID being 5684.
Publishing this now.
Of the homicide of Mr. Holmes.
One brief moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, no further questions for Mr. Howes at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross.
I'm just going to do, I believe, just share my screen.
Yeah, that's right, if you're in the Zoom.
All right, Mr. Hiles, good afternoon.
Good evening.
I'm getting there. All right, so you testified that you get involved with cases for a variety of reasons, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and some of those are to do investigations, correct?
Correct.
And those can be times when it's follow-up to what was already done or something which wasn't done at all, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And for this case, you received some records from the investigator. Is that accurate?
It is. By the time I started reviewing the records, all of these records had been obtained either by the lead investigator or from an investigator at my office.
Okay. So the lead investigator had gotten some, and someone in your office had gotten some. That's right?
That's correct.
Do you know whether the lead investigator ever reviewed the records?
I don't know.
Okay. When you were looking at the records, I think you said you were looking for the time frame. How long was it around the incident date?
So I just looked about a day before, the day of, and a day after. So more or less the February 22nd through February 24th.
Okay. So a lot of the conversations that we've been going through that you've read aloud here, those weren't ones that you were looking for when looking for the evidence of the murder, correct?
No, and that was not what I was, no, they weren't.
You weren't looking for conversations from 2018 as far back as earlier in 2019, right?
Not really. There was a couple of those conversations that we talked about that I'd come across, but I was mainly looking for communications between those 4 parties that we discussed earlier.
Okay. And some of the messages I think you referred to as stories. A story is a video which is posted, but it's not necessarily filmed live or at that time. Is that correct?
It can be or it cannot be. I can't tell whether or not it is or not.
So it could be something that if I film a video right now, I can post it tomorrow as a story, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to approach you with what has been marked already as this is going to be defendants 4RR and 5RR. Mr. Giroux?
You may.
Mr. Howes, if you could take a look at exhibits 4RR and 5RR for me. And do you recognize those as excerpts from the records contained in states 3NN alpha? Be the records from Mr. Blaylock?
Yes.
Okay. And is, excuse me, what we have on the screen, what you are looking at in front of you?
It is.
Okay. And the first highlighted message, could you tell me who was the person who sent that message?
The author is going to be Mr. Blaylock.
Okay. And what is the message that he's sending?
So he's sending a message to an Instagram account of Bottom Life Lil Tay, and the message says, "Look at this rat."
Okay. And the lower portion of that page, what is the second highlight from the bottom? The one that starts with 2607. What is that?
Okay, it's another message, and it says it's a message sent from Mr. Blaylock's account, and
It's some sort of media, photo or video, something like that, correct?
yes, it's media type. So if you look, if you see the where it says underneath it the ID,
Okay.
like generally if you would copy and paste that into like linked media, then oftentimes that's where you'd go find whatever media was attached to it.
And there, excuse me, their response to him sending that?
So are you talking about the response to the initial question of "look at this rat"?
The response to the media sent.
The response to the media sent is a response from Bottom Life Lil Tay, and the response is crazy.
And then I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna direct you on to the next page. The top is 1414.
Okay.
And the highlighted conversation is the same Tay who is in the conversation we just looked at a part of this conversation on page 1414?
Yeah, so this is actually going to be more of a group chat. It's going to be Mr. Blaylock's account, that Lil, and I don't know if it's the same Tay. The other Tay was Bottom Life Lil Tay. It could have changed. I'd have to look at the account ID number to the right of where it says Tay to see if it's the same one. But then there's an additional the What's Going One, which is Mrs. Hartsfield. Oh, there it is. Bottom Life Loyalty is a part of that. And then One King Doe One, which is Mr. Blaylock, and then an Instagram account that I'm not familiar with, or a vanity name.
And the first message on the page from What's Going On One, if you could read that one out. I mean, the second highlighted portion.
All right, the second highlight. So it is from the account to the group chat. It's the account of Ms. Hartsfield. It says, Mariah was explaining herself, talking about she ain't say nothing. And this was sent on February 4th of 2019.
So this is several weeks before the incident you were asked to look at, correct?
It's about, 19 days.
Okay. And the next line, Mariah 12. What did you take that to mean?
She's police.
I'm going to approach you with what is marked as defense 3RR. I'm gonna check the exact number. Approach you with an expert from 4NN. Take a look at it.
4NN. Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I'm going to, for the images we have, zoom in and make them a little bit
Sure,
bigger. So they're
that's fine.
Okay.
That should be a bit more clear. Mr. House, are these the messages you just read out loud for me?
They are.
Okay. And those are the messages contained in Defense Exhibit 3, correct?
No, they are the 5RR.
5R, thank you. All right, the second document that I handed you.
Are you?
That is an excerpt from the records from BJ Bernard Mitchell, correct?
Yes, they're.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I think I just referred to some of them on direct.
So they're just a printout of what you saw presented in the state's exhibit.
That's correct.
Oh. Your Honor, I would move to enter into evidence defense 5RR, 4RR, and 3RR.
All right, those are admitted.
Thank you. You had an opportunity to review the records from Miss Mariah Smith, is that correct?
So I didn't really go into those records. I cross-referenced the searches of conversations between the four parties we were talking about. And if I remember correctly, I didn't have anything during the relevant time frame, so I didn't go much into detail of hers.
When you say you didn't have anything in the relevant time frame, what do you mean? Were there any messages from her in the time frame around the incident?
I don't recall if there was any messages, but if I think I don't remember any messages between her and the other parties that we've been discussing today.
Okay. But if she was sending any messages, you would be able to see those in her records, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to approach you with what has been marked as defense 2RR. And are you able to recognize that document?
I do remember these. Yes.
And there would be an excerpt from the records from Miss Mariah Smith, which was entered into evidence as 6NN by the state.
I don't know all the exhibit numbers from the state. I don't.
Okay. Go ahead and.
But to your question, I do remember these specific messages from reviewing.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would move to enter into evidence and number 2RR.
That's a part of 6NN, you said?
Yes.
All right, that's submitted.
And what I have got here on the screen, is that the same document that you are holding?
Yes, it is.
And these messages. Could you tell me when the first message on the page was sent, at what time?
The first text or like video call event, or what do you?
First event, I'll call it.
So on 2/23/2019, there's a video call event at 15:30:52 UTC between, which is going to be, I guess, about it's going to be 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a video call between 1T Trey and Bless Auntie.
Okay. And are one of those is Mariah Smith?
I believe Miss Mariah was 1T Trey. Or honest, actually, I don't remember which one was Mariah.
Understood. If I were to get you the first page of those records, would you be able to identify who the record holder's name was? I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, the word you used.
The vanity name?
Yes.
I would. So if it helps, I was looking at the context, and I can tell you who Mariah's.
I may approach.
Okay. I figured it out. Yeah, it's a Bless Auntie. That's her. So yes, to answer your question, for the records that you had up, the Instagram vanity name for Mariah is Bless, BLESS, Auntie, AUNTIE.
Back to that screen. All right. So we've got that first message around 10 a.m.
Yeah, so at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have a video call event between 1T Trey and Bless Auntie. And then directly after that, on the February 23rd, 2019, at 10:31 a.m., there's a text sent from 1T Trey to Bless Auntie, and it just states what happened.
And what time is the last message on there, or the last event?
It is going to be February 23rd, 2019 at 15:31:54. So that's going to be 10:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So these were interactions between two different accounts, Mariah and 1T Trey, as well as Mariah and an Instagram account that is bless_glam mommy. I mean, it was in a very short period of time.
All right, thank you. I want to go back briefly to the records from Bernard Mitchell,
Okay.
admitted into evidence as defense 3 RR.
Okay.
When was it that these records were brought to your attention? Roughly.
Beginning of this year?
Would it be at the last proceeding you testified in,
Yes.
back in March?
Yes.
2024?
So they were brought to my attention about a month or so before that.
Okay. To your knowledge, had anyone with the state's side of things seen those messages before?
Not to my knowledge.
To your knowledge, had anyone in law enforcement seen those messages before?
Not to my knowledge.
But those messages were included in the original set of records which you obtained, correct?
That's correct.
So they were in there, you just hadn't looked at them.
Yes. I mean, it was thousands of pages.
Right.
And was asked for specific analysis, and that's what I provided.
You weren't the lead detective.
No, I wasn't.
So as far as locating evidence, you weren't the lead detective. You did not make the prosecuting decisions in this case, correct?
I did not.
But you were asked to collect evidence, correct? Search through the records.
I would say analyze evidence, not collect evidence.
And within your analysis, you found evidence that would support Tahira Hartsfield was part of this incident, whether it was a setup or not. She was part of it.
Agreed.
And also you found evidence that Miss Mariah Smith also was part of it.
I think Mariah was there. I don't know what her knowledge of the events were.
You don't know what her knowledge was, or there wasn't any?
I don't know what it was. I can't speak to hers, but I think from Tahiria's comments that she was a part of this conspiracy to kill Mr. Holmes.
Okay. And Mariah was with Tahir, correct?
Correct.
I don't think I have anything else for you, Mr. Hiles.
All right, are there other defense counsel with questions for this witness? All right. Okay. Thank you. Is there redirect?
Very brief, Your Honor. Mr. Howes, on cross, you were asked about messages from Bernard Mitchell. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And when you investigated this case, was Bernard Mitchell a victim? In the
He
case?
was.
Were the timeline you looked at from shortly before the murder at 4:36 a.m. to afterwards, were you focused on potential suspects?
I was trying to figure out what happened, yes.
And the specific message at issue that Bernard Mitchell sent, he stated he shot back. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so if you shoot back at someone, are you the first shooter?
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Sustained.
Mr. Reeves, not going to do this. I'm unarmed, but if I were to shoot you right now and you fired back,
Objection, relevant.
how, so in common language
Gonna
that you
allow it.
use, yes, Your Honor. So you may answer. If I shoot you with a water gun and then after I do that, you shoot me right back,
Correct.
how would you describe your shot to me?
I would say that I shot back at you.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, any
Very
recross? Sure.
Do you know whether anyone has ever discussed those messages with Bernard Mitchell?
Oh, I don't know if anyone's talked about those messages with Bernard Mitchell.
Okay, that's all.
All right. I think that we are finished with you. Thank you for your time and finished for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to remind you that, of course, you are to consider only the evidence that's submitted inside of this courtroom. So, Mr. Hiles, you can go. You don't need to wait and listen to the instructions. I'm sure you want to get out of here. So don't use the internet, blogs, podcasts, social media, any other kind of source, electronic or otherwise, to get information about the case or about the law. Don't watch, read, listen to any accounts of the trial that might appear anywhere online, in print, television, radio, otherwise. This includes any kind of social media. Of course, don't discuss the case with anyone, including amongst yourselves. Don't allow anybody to discuss it with you. And remember also that as you are in the courthouse, of course, and also as you're approaching and leaving the courthouse, to please wear your juror badges. Y'all have a pleasant evening, and we'll see you at 9. Thank you.
All rise for the jury.
All right. I think tomorrow we'll have Detective Hogan and the ME, and then move on to whatever the next group of witnesses is going to be. Okay. Who? One of
That we've
them-
already been discussing with Mr. Lee.
I was trying to find out if the state was going to be calling.
Oh, right, okay, okay. All right. Okay, is there any other matter we need to take up this evening before we leave?
Not on behalf of the state, Your Honor, and I am still working on the other matter regarding the instruction and law. I have been working during this time with other members of our
Okay,
office.
so you saw what I sent out through Ms. Pursfield. Okay. So obviously we'll need to do that maybe at lunch tomorrow. As soon as y'all got something, you can send it. Somebody had, I don't know who it was, but a computer that was making noise a couple of times, like the dings, you know, when you get, I don't know what, an email or something. So just try to, everybody, please make sure your computer is on silent, or the volume or the alerts or whatever are off, the notifications. Yes, Mr. Sharp.
I don't know. There we go. I don't know how many of my colleagues received this email, but I received an email from one of the prosecution team this afternoon, I believe, that has a bunch of folders for proposed involving the incidents alleged. I don't believe that we've, when we went through all the folders, I don't believe that we've lit it. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention so you knew.
When are we getting to that?
I don't believe that we'll get to them tomorrow. These are items from Mr. Huey's phone dump.
Do you expect we're going to get to that this week or before we have our next non-jury day?
We can not get to it. In other words, we can put it off if we need to. I think at the earliest it would have been Friday, but it could have been next week.
So we're not scheduled to have another non-jury day until, what, November? Not the 1st, the 8th. And I just hate to waste the jury time. So.
And I'll confirm with the other team members whether these are items that were previously.
All right, y'all figure it out. But obviously, if it's going to take, more than like a lunchtime or two, we're going to need to wait until there's a non-jury day to do it. And I know Mr. Matthews filed a motion limine about one particular piece of evidence. We can take that up at the same time.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay.
I did file a motion in limine. There's probably going to be a few more that's going to come in connection with that. So Mr. Shard is correct.
That was a couple of days ago, that motion in limine. Okay, well, y'all get together on it, do what you can, narrow it down, and keep me posted.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Last reminders in the morning, we'll need to take up the Winnie Lee messages. I've not had a chance to review them today.
And how long do we think that's
The
going to
messages from Winnie Lee.
take? How long do you think we'll need for that?
I got about halfway through them, and do you have some objections? I'm going to.
Are we going to have enough other witnesses to carry us to the lunch hour
Yes.
before we reach Winnie Lee?
Yes. Yes.
Although,
We can do that.
I really wish y'all would not take every one of my lunch hours. I was going to take one of my brethren for a birthday lunch tomorrow, but I guess I won't be doing that.
Your Honor, we can also talk about that with Ms. Abbasi and her co-counsel this evening. If
It
that
would be
may-
wonderful if y'all could sort it out and come to agreement and give me, 1 or 5 minutes worth of things to decide. All right, y'all please do whatever you can on that, and I guess I will see y'all at 8:45.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can I just also, I'll be filing and writing, there's a PowerPoint that we were provided by the state. It deals with Investigator Viverito. It's 41 slides. I've made a specific objection to the slides that I believe should not come in. There's
Did
law in
anything
there.
like that, Operation Planners
Yes,
PowerPoint?
it's not as bad, but yes, there's law in there, OCGA, it's her opinions that, Mr. Williams is a leader of a gang, Mr.
Okay,
Huey's
well,
an armed
get
robber.
together with somebody from the prosecution team to try to narrow that down to what is actually relevant and admissible, please.
And Your Honor, we're
I'll
going
put
to.
it in writing, and then this way they can, Mr. Body said he'll look at it.
All right, wonderful.
Mr. Hughes is going to be joining in
Thank
that,
you.
Judge. Thank you.
And so our expectations are what they should be. I think we'll get to Mr. Willie Lee before lunchtime.
You do?
I want to make sure that's put in the ether so no one's caught off guard.
Oh, gosh, I wish y'all would let me know these things before. Would have said, jury, come back at 9:30 in the morning instead of 9. Maybe I can still get that message out to them.
Well, we'll arrange it so we'll just go out of order. We'll do that.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll see y'all at 8:45. Y'all try to sort out as much as you can before then. Thank you.